Hey everybody, James with Love My Pups, my breeding supply. This is going to be a video just on platinums. What is platinum? How do you get platinum? What dogs would you breed to make a platinum? And I've got a little puppy here just to show you what a platinum might look like. So platinums are cream. All dogs that have little e, cream dogs, platinum dogs, champagnes, they all look the same. They are all this cream color. You cannot look at this dog and tell me just by looking at it whether this is in fact a platinum, a cream, or something else. You can get some indications based on eye color and nose color and pads. They tend to be lighter in color. So you can get some idea a little bit about that. But anyway, now we're going to start talking about the actual. This is a nice little puppy here, by the way. This is a puppy from a Giabella.
Love my Giabella.
I love my Giabella and Denali, my full fluffy. So this is a fluffy carrier. But that's not what we're talking about. We're going to talk specifically about platinums. And so I just want to start off the whole video so you could get a look at what kind of color we're trying to get here. And then I'm going to show you how you get to this. So this is a really nice little puppy. This puppy is, what, 10 days old, I believe? 10 days old, eyes opened up a couple of days ago. Just really healthy, fat, happy little girl. See how happy she is? Okay, next video. So there are actually three distinct different ways you get platinum. There are three different kinds of dogs with three different kinds of DNA. All of this is reference to bulldogs, French bulldogs, English bulldogs, bullies. I think it's going to be applicable. Now, I'm a French bulldog person, but I think this is going to be applicable to all those bulldogs and a lot of other dogs too, but specifically French bulldogs. Okay. So I hear a lot of times that people will talk about it's a platinum carrier or it's a blue that carries platinum. Those are not the way to describe things. That's not the way to do it. A platinum dog is specifically this. A platinum dog is a blue dog that is a chocolate dog, that is a cream dog, all combined. That produces a platinum. If you remove the cream, let's get this here. If you remove the cream, you would have a lilac dog. That would be a lilac. So if you take the chocolate out, of course, you've just got a blue dog. So, a blue and a chocolate makes a lilac. And there's three different versions of lilac, and that's why there are three different versions of platinum. So remember, you add the cream to it, and that makes the platinum. That makes a platinum. Okay, so how do you make a blue dog? Well, a blue dog is always 2 copies of dilution, little d, always. A chocolate dog, there are 3 different ways to get chocolate. When we just talk about lilacs, we're probably talking about what we call as untestable chocolate, which we now call cocoa. So it's little co. There is another version of chocolate, testable chocolate, which is little b, and it could be either one of these. So this one here, and then we're going to add the cream to it, e little e. This is the cream. So this is the blue, or the dilution gene. That's the blue. This is the cream, and they've always got to be there like that. This middle part is the part that is going to change the versions of it. If it's little co, and it was just that would be a lilac. If it was the little d, little b, this is what we call testable chocolate, we'd call that an Isabella. And if we combine both of these together, because they're 2 completely separate genes, then we'd call that new shade. New shade. So consequently, if you add the cream to this setup, you could have 3 possibilities. So we're now going to draw those out. Let me just wipe this off a little bit. Let's go back to get some room here so we can start exploring. Specifically, the three possibilities. So the important point here is, please don't start referring your dogs as platinum carriers. It's not particularly meaningful, and it's certainly not correct in my book. And I'm not trying to reprimand people. You know, it can be confusing. And certainly you don't want, if you're buying a dog or you're selling a dog, you definitely don't want to get the other party confused, because there's repercussions to this. You know, these dogs are not cheap dogs, and so you definitely want to make sure you're got it right. Otherwise, somebody's going to come back to you and say, well, that's not what you said. All right, so there's the three versions of this. So we're going to put this as little d, little d, little e. Now that dog by itself would be, remember, little e makes cream. This makes cream. Anytime you have little e on any dog, it'll look cream. There are various versions of cream. It can be almost white to it can be almost an apricot color. But little e is like white paint. It covers up everything else. The dog can be brindle, pied, merle. And you put little e on it and it looks like a cream dog. And you cannot look at that dog and say, that is a merle dog or a brindle dog or a platinum dog or a champagne dog. By the way, champagne is when we have little b, little e, or little co, little e. Those are champagnes. We're not talking about that. We'll just bring that up there right now. That's a champagne. Again, it looks like a cream dog. So the problem here is you cannot just look at a dog and say, oh yeah, that's a platinum, that's a champagne, that's a cream. You can't do that. You've got to know either a DNA test or you've got to know the parentage that produced this, the DNA, the two parents, so you can infer what you got. And we'll talk more about that here in a second. Okay, so here we go. So we've got that as our base. Now, what do we add to it? Three possibilities. One is little co. And that would make, I'm going to call that, they're all platinums, but this would be the untestable version of platinum. Untestable, or the cocoa version of platinum. It could be little d, little e, little b. That is an Isabella platinum. Or it can be little d, little e, little co, little b, and that I would call, and again, this one here, you know, I would call this a new shade platinum. Call it new shade platinum. That is an expensive dog right there. That's a hard one to make. It's an expensive dog. But look, you can call it new shade platinum, but as long as you make the point that this has got both versions, a full version of chocolate, 2 copies of cocoa, 2 copies of testable chocolate, nobody's going to get confused. When you come up with untestable platinum, untestable chocolate platinum, or cocoa platinum, Isabella platinum, new shade platinum, I think those are pretty informative. And I think most people who understand about Frenchies would know what you're talking about. But look, go back to the DNA. If there's any doubt about it, spell out what the DNA is, and then you will avoid any confusion. Okay, so let's talk about how you'd make this. So, since we've got 3 of them here, we're going to talk about the more common one, the top one, the easier one to produce, the more likely one that you're going to come across, and the one that you're going to spend less money buying. And that basically is just a straight lilac, straight platinum, the one that has cocoa on it. So let's make ourselves some room again. Get all this muck off the board. And while I'm doing this, remember, hey, subscribe to us. We'd appreciate that. Go look at our website, My Breeder Supply. We've got great products there for you to have successful litters. Alrighty. So, since we know what we're trying to produce, we're trying to produce the dog that's DD, CO, EE. That's what we're trying to produce. So both parents have to, at the very least, have a copy of blue. Both parents, at the very least, have to have a copy of cocoa. And both parents, at the very least, have to have a copy of cream. You can't get there unless you've got those ingredients on both parents. So here's the other parent we're matching up to with exactly the same single copies. And how do you get there? Well, you can do a Punnett square on all these. Let's do a Punnett. I'm not going to do it on all these, but we'll just do a Punnett square on the first one. So we've got two dogs. And one of them is big D, little d, and the other one is big D, little d. What do you get? You get here a non-blue dog. Here you get a dog that's a blue carrier. Here you get a dog that is a blue carrier. And here comes your blue dog. Only 1/4 of this whole lot are blue. So, to get this little d dog, we know we're going to get 1/4. Same thing applies here. To get this little CO dog, you're only going to get 1/4. To get this cream dog, EE, only 1/4. If you multiply all those together, that gives you the probability of those two producing a platinum dog. 1/4 by 1/4 to the 16th, and 1/4 by 16th is 1/64. There you go. Not gonna happen. Now, if you put those two dogs together and you had 64 puppies, you'd expect one of them to be a platinum. Just one of them to be a platinum. So you can see that to try to get a platinum, so somebody could call this dog in this nonsense about this being a platinum carrier. It is a platinum carrier because it carries blue, carries chocolate, carries cream. But the reality is that that dog is not going to produce very many platinums at all. All right, so let's up our odds a little bit. I'm going to get rid of this, and we're going to change this now. So we're going to take that dog that carries blue and put it with a blue dog that is chocolate, that is cream. So there's our platinum. That is a platinum dog. Now what happens when we put these together? Well, let's go back to the Punnett square, and we'll take this dog here as being the bottom one, the little d dog. What do we get? We get that, and we get a blue dog right here, and we get, so now we get, let's get rid of that so we can just see it. Half the dogs, this side right here, half the dogs are now blue. So in this situation, we get half the dogs that are blue, half the dogs that are chocolate, and half the dogs that are cream. We multiply that all together, and a half by half is 1/4, and that is now 1/8. So now 1/8 of the litter are platinums. Well, we're getting a lot better, aren't we? We went from 1/64 to 1/8. That is a much better odds. So you had 8 puppies, you expect one to be a platinum. Still not good, but it can be done, and it does happen. So this is a lot more chance of it happening. All right, get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of our Punnett square now because it's getting a bit messed up. Now let's change this to something that's actually quite likely. So let's put this with a blue dog that carries chocolate and carries cream. And by the way, I have in my little lineup quite a few of those dogs, and I have platinums as well. You breed those together, what do you get? And the answer is, now you get all blue dogs, of which half of them are chocolate, of which half of them are little e. So this is a 100% by a half by a half. So now 1/4 of the litter, 1/4 of the litter end up being platinums. And by the way, what else do you get out of this? Just to kind of go through the whole thing, what would you get out of this? So we've got 1/4 of them that are platinum. We'll put that over here. So let's just come up with a whole lineup for this particular mating. So 1/4 are platinum. We know they're all going to have this, and some of them are going to be this. They're going to be blue carriers, and some of them are going to be that, little e. So we get, this is a half by a half. We get 1/4 of them are going to be blues covered in cream. So 1/4 of them are going to be blue covered in cream. And then again, the next one is again all blue. This one here is going to be little c, little co, little co, big E, little e. 1/4 of them are going to be, yes, half, we're going to do math. 1/4 of them are going to be lilacs, lilac, that carries cream, And we better have 1 more quarter left. And that's going to be the dog that does not get cream. This one here gets a copy of cream. Excuse me, Coco. Gets a copy of cream, and it is blue. So that is a blue dog. That's a blue that carries cream and blue. So there you go. So that's a nice litter. I mean, what you're going to get, you put a blue dog that carries cream and chocolate with a platinum, and what do you get? You get 1/4 platinums and 1/4 blues, and then the other ones are going to be blues covered in cream, so look cream dogs and lilacs. That's a nice litter. That's a very nice litter. You'll do very well with that litter. Okay. All right. All right, where are we going with this now? I think that's kind of pretty much talked about all of it. So look, I mean, you know, there's lots of different ways you can get there, and I could spend another hour on the board showing you all the combinations of dogs that you could put together to produce various different versions of platinums, whether it be a platinum, an Isabella platinum, or a new shade platinum. There's probably, I don't know, there's probably at least 100 combinations we can come up with to get it. But remember, the important thing is the results that you have to get at the end of the day, it has to be a blue dog that is cream, that is either cocoa or testable chocolate or both together. And that is the only way you get a platinum, and it's as simple as that. Now, there can be other things that are hidden in there as well. For instance, this dog could be a fluffy. It could be a fluffy terrier. It could be a merle. You won't see the merle. It could be brindle. You can have tan points. Those are all things that could be added to it. All of these things can be added to it. And you could add the whole silly lot together. You could have a fluffy merle, brindle, well, yeah, it wouldn't show. But none of this does not show. Doesn't show. Doesn't show. You will not see those things. Although they are physically there, both in the genes and in the phenotype and the genotype, they will not show. You won't, well, actually that's not true. The fluffy will show. The fluffy will show. The fluffy will show because it's a hair length thing. These are all colours. This one actually does show, so I got to get that right. Because a fluffy carrier wouldn't show. So I think that probably covers it fairly well. Platinums, I love them. Now, who wants a platinum? Well, I'm not sure that the market for people who want a puppy just as a pet, that they're necessarily going to pay big bucks for a platinum, because they could have got a cream dog for considerably less money. But somebody who wants to go on and have more puppies from them, then the platinums are, I love a platinum dog. Let me just talk about this for a second here. What do I want in a platinum? And I'll tell you what I want in a platinum. I want more than what I've got on the board. This is what I would like to have in a platinum. And here it comes. Platinum dog, the high dollar dog, the one that gets expensive. Well, we know that all of them are going to be little e, little e, little d, little d. That's a given. We know that we've got to have that. Then what we'd like to have would be little co, little b. Now we've got a new shade platinum. On top of that, I would either like to add AA or ATA, because especially I like the AA dog because you can do anything in terms of tan points. And then look, if this dog was also a merle, wonderful. And if it was also a fluffy or a fluffy carrier, wonderful too. Specifically, if that dog was a blue cream, new shade, AA merle fluffy, that would be, you could buy a house with that dog. And depending on, you could buy a really nice house with that dog. I don't think there's one out there yet. That would be a fluffy merle platinum. New shade platinum is what that is. that is AA recessive. That would be, I'm not even going to put a price to it because the first person who comes up with that will put their own price to it and get it. But it's going to be, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars literally. I know people are going to say, what? It's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. And how many hundreds of thousands? At least 2, I would think. I mean, that's today's price, January 2021. But I don't want to get stuck on the price because then people are going to start complaining about this when I put price of it. I've not got this dog to sell. I don't have this dog. I wish I did. But that's a unicorn, Frenchie, is what that is. Anyway, enough of this. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to us. Go do look at My Breeder Supply. There are some fantastic products made, built, patented by us and all used by us on a day-to-day basis that will absolutely let you get better litters, successful litters, raise healthy puppies. It really is there. Hey, thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.